Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we prepare for nighttime qualifying here for Division 1 of the NNSCRA Skittles Super Speedway Series. We're getting set here for our second race of the season, coming off the heels of a, can we call it Wreckfest? It was a bit of a Wreckfest. We had, I think it was 5 total cautions in our 2 division races, and a lot of drivers finished behind the wall, but we're coming off that race nonetheless at Daytona. Drivers have now completed their first points-paying event here this season, and we are now getting set to see what they will do here in the second race of the season, second of 15 regular season races this year. We've already got one driver that has succeeded in going to victory lane here in Division 1, that being Brady Burkhart last season, let's make that last week. Wow, time sure flies. And here today we're going to have, obviously, as I said, a much more expedited qualifying session. Last week at Daytona, round 1 lasted 30 minutes. The round 2 was 10 minutes. Here tonight and for the rest of the season, for most of the tracks, depending on the length, it's going to be only 15 minutes in round 1 and 10 minutes in round 2. As we're looking at the first car that got on track, that's the 16 of Vance Caldwell. Looks like he'll be the first one to lay down an official lap here tonight. Same rules apply as they did in qualifying for Daytona. After the completion of 15 minutes, the top 10 speeds will move on to round 2 of qualifying with a chance of qualifying on the pole. Vance Caldwell actually advanced to round 2 at Daytona last week. So we'll see if they can advance to round 2 for the second straight week. See, Brady Burkhart's put down a lap time already. Burkhart, right now, would be one of the 8 representatives locked into this season's chase for the championship as far as Division 1 goes. And we'll document who the other 7 drivers are currently in just a moment. First official lap time by Vance Caldwell, a 50.604 for the Burger King Ford out of Flying Aces International. Derek Hamill with a 50.755. Top of the board, well, it was Brady Burkhart. Now it's Zach Winkle, as a number of drivers have already hit the 49s. They must be in a pack. There's Burkhart. No, he's not in a pack. Here's the pack. Joshua Sekuli and Zach Winkle, if you can call 2 cars a pack. Philip Goldberg and Johnny Gardner back there working together, so you're going to start to see the lap times pick up as drivers start to merge into a group. And boy, there's a lot of drivers all in the same vicinity right here that could very easily lay down some fast lap times. There's last week's pole sitter. Preston Plord took the pole position at Daytona with an absolutely blistering lap when he made it into round 2 of qualifying. Jake Rogers right behind him, as at this point in time, Jose Mills top of the leaderboard. Almost a 49 flat. Let's see if anybody from this group jumps up past him. Not yet. Philip Goldberg up to 2nd. Joshua Lee 3rd. Jake Rogers up to 4th. Joshua Sekuli there in 5th. See where Jose Mills is at in the 6th. This could be a group right here with Duncan, Mitchell, and Shane Lake top of the leaderboard. Mitchell up to 2nd, and now Diego Yepes up to the top. So all of a sudden, we were in the 50s, now we went to the 49s, and now 3 drivers, Yepes, Lake, and Mills, have hit. Oh, there's Mills, and there's Yepes. They've hit the 48s. 48.679. Philip Goldberg, top of the leaderboard with a 48.252. Johnny Gardner jumped up to 2nd. I have a feeling this is going to be a very hotly contested top 10, because we've got a number of packs here. And this is certainly seeming to be more of a pack-oriented qualifying session this week than it was last week at Daytona. We had a lot of stragglers at Daytona, but looks like we got a lot of drivers that have figured out, hey, if we're going to qualify into round 2 of the playoffs, round 2 of qualifying, boy, if I could talk, that'd be great. Then we've got to get into a pack and get these draft laps. And last time by, Goldberg was actually 4/10 slower, but Zorlin was faster in the 48. 47.986. We've now hit the sub 47 lap times. As we follow the 48 Lowe's Chevy Camaro, we already mentioned that Brady Burkhart right now would be one of the 8 representatives in the playoffs for Division 1. You see him there on the top side, that Baja Blast 00 Camry. The other 7 drivers right now that would be in the playoff spots via points were basically the other 7 drivers that finished in the top 8 last week at Daytona. Trent Dunham, Shayton Lake, Vance Caldwell, Laurent Lamount, Sebastian Kukulon, Ashlyn Boyd, and Preston Plord. Still a long ways to go in the season. A lot can still happen. And of course, it's the win and you're in situation in terms of our playoffs as well. So a driver that comes into this race outside the top 25, hey, even down maybe in the bottom 5 in the point standings, could find victory lane here tomorrow evening. Zorlin still holds the top spot. Still the only driver with the sub 47 lap time. Couple of drivers have popped up here into the top 10 though. JT Bryant up to second with almost a 48 flat. 48.089. Ashlyn Boyd's up to 4th. Cody Smart up to 10th. And remember Cody Smart's hardship last week when he had the fastest lap in round 1 of qualifying at Daytona. Got caught up in a wreck though. Had to go to a backup car and thus forfeited his spot in round 2 of qualifying. That's another thing that I've noticed so far here that I almost think we're going to avoid at Armory Digital, and that is drivers having to go to backup cars due to wrecks. I'm seeing these drivers racing in these packs, and they're giving each other a good amount of daylight. I mean, right there we see 3 wide between Tristan Folks, JT Bryant, and Matt Haas. It settles back out to double wide very quickly as Bryant's going to come to pit road, but I don't know. Last week just seemed like, and this is typical with Daytona, there's just not a whole heck of a lot of room to race, and I think that's a big reason why we had so many cautions in last week's races as well. I have to be perfectly honest, Daytona is not exactly one of my favorite super speedways, or one of my favorite tracks in particular, just based on the fact that it, you could have good racing, but there's just not the room for it. There's Trent Dunham, second in the points, coming out on track. Looking at Laurent Lamount in the 36, 5th in the points coming into this race, alongside of Riley Spurleytube, who qualified second for last week's race at Daytona. And Lamount's going to come to pit lane. Let's check on the one of Trent Dunham. His fastest lap is a 48.530, 22nd fastest on the speed charts right now. And last week at Daytona, he qualified 3rd. Another pack here. We'll see if this group can do anything. Patrick Zitch, Roger Ray, Benjamin Miles. There's Cody Smart and Andrew Miller. Right now out of this group, only one up inside the top 10. That Benjamin Miles. He's currently 7th. Tristan Folks jumped up into the top 10. He's up to 6th. As you just saw there, Cody Smart heading for pit road. I don't know if the 04 is going to get a top 10 lap time this time. No, he actually was slower than his fastest lap, which is a 48.583, 25th fastest on the speed charts so far for Patrick Sitch. 33 of Seth Cole coming out on track. There you saw his teammate Andrew Miller. Jessica Shelton just ran her fastest lap, but it's only 20th best at a 48.480. Shelton comes into this race 9th in the point standings, so looking for another good run to move into the top 8. Jay Jefferson right behind her, 18th fastest with a 450, I should say. Zachary Taylor and Eli Bright, they are 30th and 33rd on the charts, but these guys are single file, so these guys might lay down a little bit better of a lap time. Maybe I'll move into the top 20. Let's see what happens when they hit the line here. Shelton, 20th fastest. Will it improve? Lap time improved, but the position didn't. She's still 20th. Jefferson's 21st. And Zachary Taylor up to 3rd with a 48.101. Eli Bright jumped up to 14th. I'm actually surprised that Taylor jumped up and Bright did not. As Taylor jumped up into the top 5, Bright only jumped up into the top 15. That kind of perplexes me because Eli Bright was 4th in that single file line. I would have thought he would have gotten a faster lap time. But right now, Taylor poised to move on to the second round of qualifying. Here's another group. Qualls, Kukulon, Duncan, Mitchell, and Lake. And I don't believe, looking at the chart, that any of these drivers are currently inside of the top 10 in speeds. Qualls right now is scored in 20th, Mitchell's 32nd, Kukulon 30th, Duncan 33rd, and Lake 26th. So while these guys are in a pack, they're not really producing a lot of speed to get them up inside of the top 20. There's Ashlyn Boyd, currently scored in the 5th position. Looking good to move on to the next round. Diego Yepes 6th, right behind him. Jose Mills, currently 5th. Also there, as they just got moved down by, I think that was Zach Winkle jumping up to 4th. I'd watch out for this car right here. Ryan Butcher's in a good spot. Got a car behind him, 3 cars in front of him. He's in the draft, 14th fastest so far on the charts. Let's see if he improves. This could be up inside of the top 10 in speeds. Let's see. 48.253, up to 9th for Ryan Butcher. Question is, will that hold? That's down near the cut line, which right now is the 91 of Tristan Folks. If he continues to ride right where he is, he might be able to get a faster lap time this next time. And there's a couple of cars actually ahead of him that are faster than him in speeds he maybe could surpass. Jose Mills, Ashlyn Boyd, and Diego Yepes. These guys actually starting to catch up to that group up ahead of Duncan, Qualls, Shane Lake. So these 3 right here might actually get a better lap time. Let's see. Got about 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first round of qualifying. I think we can safely say that Jonathan Zorlin will be moving on. He's the only driver that's had a 47 lap time, 48.181, up to 7th now for Ryan Butcher. And Laurent Lamount, who was in this line as well, jumped up to 5th. That just took Tristan Folks out of the top 10 and puts the 18 of Philip Goldberg on the bubble. And Ashlyn Boyd, who was up to 5th, all of a sudden, drivers passing him. Zachary Taylor, Laurent Lamount, Ryan Butcher, Zach Winkle, and now Ashlyn Boyd finds himself in the 9th position on the bubble spot. There's JT Bryant, 48.089, 3rd fastest on the charts. I think he and Jose Mills might be safe. Carter Friesen struggling. Boy, he's not had a heck of a lot of speed the last couple of weeks in qualifying. Right now, he is dead last on the charts, and Vance Caldwell, who was the first car out on track here in this qualifying session, not doing much better. He's 39th. Here's a group where something might happen. Look at the 48 of Austin LaPlante at the tail end of this train. Let's see if he's going to be able to improve. 36th fastest last time by, and that was his fastest lap of the race. Let's see how it improves this time. It was actually a 10th slower. There's Zorlin, and Laurent Lamount just passed him for the fastest lap here in the first round of qualifying with a 47.980, 6 1,000ths faster than Zorlin's 986. Butcher jumped up to 3rd. And now Zach Winkle is put on the bubble spot as Seth Cole jumped up into the top 10 in 9th with a 48.169. 30 seconds remaining. Anybody else going to make a last-ditch effort to get into the top 10? See if anyone from this group's going to be able to do it as Zorlin pulls low on Goldberg. At the line, anybody jump up into the top 10 of this group? Doesn't look like it. A number of them are already in the top 10 there. Winkle, Zorlin. It's follow the 97 because he's the driver on the bubble spot. We'll see if his position changes at all, or will he remain the last driver to transfer into the first round, or into the second round of qualifying. Right now it's Laurent Lamont, Jonathan Zorlin, Ryan Butcher, Jose Mills, JT Bryant, Zachary Taylor, then Diego Yepes, Ashlyn Boyd, Seth Cole, and Zach Winkle. And Winkle feels it's over. He's coming to pit road. So he's hoping nobody puts down a lap time better than a 48.202 within these final 20 seconds, or else he is in trouble. A lot of drivers on pit road apparently feeling that they've run the fastest lap they can possibly run. 10 seconds remaining. Winkle still holding on to that 10th and final transfer spot. And as we hit zeros on the clock, that is going to do it. Session is complete, and we have our 10 drivers that are going to move on to the final round of qualifying here tonight at Armory Digital. I see some Chevys, I see some Fords, and I see some Toyotas. No Dodge, as I think we only have one Dodge in this division anyway, that being Eli Bright, so not a whole lot of a surprise there. And now the session is officially complete. So let's take a look at what it looks like for our starting grid from 11th on down. Patrick Zitch will be starting the race in 11th with Philip Goldberg 12th, Preston Plord 13th, Tristan Folks 14th, and Benjamin Miles in 15th. Then it'll be Lee, Gardner, Sekuli, Jefferson, and Haas, your top 20. As you look on down through the remainder of the qualifying results here today, and some notables down here at the bottom of the grid. They're going to be starting near the rear of the field. Trent Dunham, who came into this race second in the point standings. Shane Lake, who came in third. Brady Burkhart, who won last week's race at Daytona. And also Sebastian Kukul on 38th is where he's going to start, and he was sixth in points. So a lot of our drivers that finished well at Daytona are going to be starting near the rear of the field tomorrow night here at Armory Digital. We'll have to see how that's going to affect them and how that's going to affect the points as a result. But Laurent Lamont with the fastest lap time by 6/1000ths over Jonathan Zorlin. They will move on to the next round of qualifying, followed by Ryan Butcher, Jose Mills, JT Bryant, Zachary Taylor, Diego Yepes, Ashlyn Boyd, Seth Cole, and Zach Winkle. Let's find out who's going to start on the pole for tomorrow night's race at Armory Digital. All right, then, round 2, ready to roll here. 10 minutes in this final qualifying session. 10 drivers move on, and we'll have an opportunity to start on the pole position. Looks like the first car out on track is going to actually be the car that got the final transfer spot into this final round of qualifying, the 97 of Zach Winkle. So let's follow him out of the very unusual pit road here at Armory Digital. He'll merge onto the back straightaway, and we'll follow him and see what his first lap time is going to be. Now, we saw 2 drivers hit the 47 lap time, that being Laurent Lamont and Jonathan Zorlin. That was with 40 drivers on track. I think we're going to be lucky here if we see a driver hit the low 48s. I think we're going to probably see our pole position lap time maybe be somewhere around a 48.5. Maybe not even that low. And we saw as well a number of packs formulate in our first round of qualifying. But again, that was when there were 40 drivers on track. There's only 10 drivers that are going to be in this round of qualifying. So I don't know, the likelihood that someone's going to be able to come out with somebody else and get their draft, be able to set down a lap time, very slim, but we're going to have to see if that's going to be the case. That's exactly what happened last week at Daytona. Preston Plord was able to be in the draft. I think it was 2 drivers. Set the lap time that nobody else could touch. So if you get the fortune of coming out and being in someone's draft, you've got a pretty good percentage of a chance that you're going to be starting at the very front of the field tomorrow night. Let's see what the first lap time is going to be. This will probably be somewhere in the maybe in the 50-second range, I would think, for Zach Winkle. Yep, 50.320. As Jose Mills leaving pit road. A number of drivers have yet to leave pit road. Laurent Lamont and Jonathan Zorlin are two drivers that hit the 47 lap time. They are just now leaving pit road. Diego Yepes just took the green flag. Ashlyn Boyd, I believe, is about to do the same. Yep. So right now, Zach Winkle's the only driver that's laid down an official first lap. There's Yepes in 69. I was looking at the drivers, of this top 10 that transferred. The highest in the points is Laurent Lamont. He's 5th in the points. Ashlyn Boyd is 7th in the standings. Diego Yepes in 10th. Excuse me. Seth Cole 21st. JT Bryant is 23rd. Zach Winkle 26th. Ryan Butcher 27th. Zachary Taylor in 29th. Jose Mills in 34th. And Jonathan Zorlin, who was second fastest in round 1, is dead last in the points coming into this race. So, just gives you an idea there of the difference of positioning of the drivers that have moved on to this round of qualifying, and for some of them, just how important a good starting position in tomorrow night's race really is. Seth Cole and JT Bryant and Ryan Butcher, they're all in a group. Apparently that's going to help them in terms of trying to get the pole. Cole with a 49.383, Bryant with a 5.88. Took them, I think, only one lap to set a 49-second lap time. It's taken Zach Winkle 3 laps to break into the 49s. And I like the position right here of the 76 of Ryan Butcher to maybe jump up to the top of the leaderboard when they get to the start-finish line. He's been in the draft of the 22 and the 33 pretty much this whole lap. I'll be very surprised if he's not P1 when they cross the line. 49.177. Right now you're looking at your pole sitter. This could be the group right here where you're going to find your pole sitter, because I don't really think we've got any other groups formulating. Zach Winkle back here. 49.998 his last lap. 2/100 slower than his fastest. There's Jose Mills. Right now he's 8th fastest. Yepes in 5th fastest. He just ran his fastest lap of the race, a 50.023. Laurent Lamont broke into the 49s. He's now 5th fastest, 49.986. Ashlyn Boyd is dropped down to 10th. There's Zorlin, currently in 8th. Taylor just ran his fastest lap, 50.2 flat. He's 7th. And here's this group. And Seth Cole just ran his fastest lap with a 49.280. Bryant and Butcher were both 0.3 slower. Well, actually, Butcher was 0.3 slower. Bryant was about 6/100 slower than his fastest lap. Well, Seth Cole's got a fast car, leading this pack, and jumped up to a 49.2. You got to wonder what would happen if he would let these two by and got into their draft. Right now, Ryan Butcher, 3rd car in this line, so he's getting the benefit of the draft, and it's allowing him for the moment to hold on to the top position. And these three are the only ones that are really in any close vicinity with each other. So I just don't see anybody else being able to challenge them. Seth Cole, 49.171. Bryant and Butcher jumped into the 48, and Bryant now to the pole. 48.937. A 9.52 for Butcher. That's 2/100ths off the lap Bryant just ran. And he was the car that was in the middle of these three drivers. Not too far back from these guys is Zach Winkle, but I don't think he can catch them. If he could just be a little closer and get in the draft to the 22, he would have a huge suck-up lap, but I don't think he's close enough to do it. And now Bryant, 3rd in this line. Let's see if the middle car gets the fastest lap this time in Butcher, or does Bryant improve? Nope, Bryant was slower, Butcher was slower, and Seth Cole just ran his fastest lap up to a 0.45, but still, that is almost, it's about 9/100ths of a second slower than Bryant's lap. It's almost a full second slower than Bryant's lap. Seth Cole doing all the work here. in determining who's going to be the pole sitter, whether it's going to be Butcher or Bryant. Like I said, if Seth Cole would drop back behind these two, and now that's going to really hurt the chances of Seth Cole getting the pole, or maybe even Ryan Butcher getting the pole, because Bryant says, all right, now you two battle it out. I'm coming to pit road. I think Bryant thinks he's got this pole position lined up. Let's see if there's any improvement. Never mind. Bryant might want to get back out there because a 48.735 for Butcher, 48.771 for Seth Cole. Butcher just took the pole back. Well, Butcher's got a fast car. He was third fastest in round one. Looking good right now, and these guys might get the slipstream off the 54 of Ashland Boyd, who just got back out on track. See if Seth Cole might be able to do something with that. If he's got a car behind him and can get in the draft at the 54, he might be able to make a last-ditch effort for the pole position. I don't think he's going to be there yet. I think this next lap's going to determine it. Cole at the line, 2/10 slower, as was Ryan Butcher. I think Seth Cole's in the wake of that 54. Oh, this is going to be a good lap time for the 33. If he doesn't catch up to the back bumper of Ashland Boyd before the start-finish line. If he can stay in that distance. Oh, I think he's going to catch him. Yeah, this is going to hurt his lap time. Unless he can get also into the wake of the 85 of Zachary Taylor up ahead, but yeah, I think this is going to hurt his lap time. If he had been able to not close in as quickly as he did on Ashland Boyd, I think he'd have had a chance. Well, they're going to get at least one more lap in, it looks like. They're going to cross the line with about 40 seconds remaining. Let's see if there's any improvement on the lap time by Seth Cole, and there is a 48.716, and that actually bypassed Ryan Butcher. So he did get enough of a slipstream off the 54. So Cole top of the leaderboard, and he's about to catch that 85 of Zachary Taylor. This could be another good lap. This is going to decide the pole position, I think, right here. Seth Cole, 716 to Butcher, 735. Butcher's going to go high. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Now Seth Cole does not have a drafting partner. Nobody helping him. This is going to hurt his lap time. Butcher's trying to do everything he can to get a fast lap time here and get the pole position. Trying to stay in the wake of the 85. Let's see what's going to happen. Who's going to be on the pole here when they cross the line? Cole does not improve. Ashland Boyd! Last-ditch effort, 48.661 for Ashland Boyd. Boyd's gonna be on the pole. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Talk about a last-ditch effort. I love these qualifying sessions. You never know who's gonna start on the pole. What was it, last week in Division 2, we had absolute certainty. We thought for absolute certainty William Brock was going to start on the pole. What happened? Jake Galloway stole it away in the closing moments. And here we thought it was going to be between Seth Cole and Ryan Butcher, and Ashland Boyd from out of nowhere lays down a 48.6 and is going to start on the pole position tomorrow night at Armory Digital. That is unbelievable. Ashland Boyd comes into this race 7th in the point standings, trying to make his way into the playoffs, is going to start P1 in tomorrow night's race at Armory Digital, and it is now official. Ashland Boyd will start on the pole with Seth Cole on the outside of the front row. Ryan Butcher will start third with JT Bryant. Row 3 will be Zachary Taylor and Laurent Lamount. Zach Winkle and Diego Yepes will be row 4, and Jonathan Zorlin and Jose Mills will make up the completion of the top 10 for tomorrow night's race here at Armory Digital. What a qualifying session, and again, another shot clock cheese, a last-minute buzzer beater as Ashland Boyd lays down the lap that's going to start him on the pole position. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's qualifying session. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. And up next, we're going to be having our qualifying session for Division 2 to determine their starting lineup that'll be taking place, their race, in a couple of nights. But I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching Production NNSCRA Offline Racing at its Best. Ashlyn Boyd captures the pole for tomorrow night's race here at Armory Digital.